Life is like a raindrop, one out of many millions going through the motions of day-to-day life. The ones who get to live long, happy lives are us, and together we form streams of powerful currents that can reshape the world. We have control of our actions and direction, but what about the weather? There are two sides to this situation. One side, we have the opportunity to make a difference, but sometimes it's a time-consuming side where no matter how hard we try, the outcome cannot be changed. From the latter, why do we let fear consume us and not be helpful, when it is a survival instinct programmed to be beneficial? There will always be events where we dread the outcome, and the best option in these situations are to just embrace and accept. My mantra is whatever happens, happens. Life is full of events and experiences, some not so enjoyable like others, but they shape who we are. For me, it was the turning point in my life. It was sophomore year and winter break had just started at my high school. My mom began to drive my family after school to St. Helena Hospital. My dad's condition was getting worse. He was battling stage 4 lung cancer. My family and I were practically living at the hospital for the whole duration of winter break. Looking back, I would say it was one of my best and worst moments in my life. I got to spend my whole time with my dad, but it was hard looking at my family's struggle to accept what was going on. To everyone who knew him, it seemed unreal, like a huge mistake for a person like him. It was tough watching his mind slowly drift away as the strong painkillers got to him, but they prevented him from feeling any pain. I stayed by his side day and night to talk to him on the rare occasions when he was mentally present. Those were the highlights of my break. In my mind, I knew it was too late to do anything, but of course I wanted to have hope. It wasn't until 7:21 a.m., a day before school, my dad had passed away, holding me and my brother's hand. It was a rough period in my life, but I realized it could have been much worse if there wasn't one member in my family who was a strong one. We had all viewed and experienced this situation differently. What allowed me to remain sane and take in the real picture was not to fight, but to accept the situation for what it was. It was at this low point in my life where I had gained newfound strength. I became more empathetic and emotional, yet developed a thick skin. My brother always wows at my coolness in stressful situations we're in. I use fear as a power to propel and prepare me in tough times. This followed me all the way through the rest of high school to now, the present of my sophomore year in college. During that period, I was battling severe acne and eventually living on my own. These situations were far from my control. Why stress when there's no battle to begin with? In the end, all that matters is how I perceive the problem. I did my best to not allow my insecurities and worries to interfere one bit. We tend to traverse life focusing a lot on the bad and inevitable. There's a quote that goes, "Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it." Charles R. Swindoll. Everyone wants to be worry-free, yet many still focus on just the 10% where we have no control. Whatever happens, happens is a mantra that bridges our mind to peace, ending conflicts and destructive thoughts within ourselves. It doesn't mean you don't care about the outcome or use it as an excuse to not take responsibility for one's own life. That would be a fatalistic viewpoint. It means accepting what is beyond our control and living out the moments we have all to ourselves. Good and bad things happen. We need to roll with the punches and deal with the things as they come. Learning to focus our energies on things we do have control over will bring less stress and more happiness in our lives. My advice is to live in the now without grasping at expectations or worries. Whatever happens, happens.